Hey Dom, how you doing, man?
Hey,
uh,
hey, Mike, what's up? You've done something different with your hair.
yeah, yes, I have. Far out. um, well, I actually, I'm not going to keep this, but although it is kind of humorous,
It is
um,
kind of fun, I got to
yeah,
admit.
yeah, maybe I'll leave it. But anyway, we're doing a movie called Cage Terror. So,
Cage terror.
yes, and this was my pick. I don't know if you can possibly come up with a good synopsis for this, but if you
Oh
want to give
man.
the
I
intro.
watched this a few days ago and I'm still not sure I can tell you what it's about.
Yeah, yeah. It's really something. Like I
But but
said, far
but
out,
I'll
man.
try.
What's that?
I'll try.
Yeah, go for it. Let's
Okay,
see
so
what you
this
can
week's
do.
movie is the 1973 film Cage Terror, also known as Golden Apples of the Sun.
Yes. Yep. And Golden Apples of the Sun is actually, I think they were trying to be deep when they made this.
I,
And
I think they definitely had a message
yes.
because the movie starts out with this guy in the city trying to get this woman to go up to a cabin in the woods with him.
Yeah.
And while he's doing it, they're showing scenes of traffic. They're playing radio segments where people are saying how living in a city population, living in close quarters with too many people can be damaging to your mental health, to your soul. So there's some sort of city bad, nature good
Yeah.
message.
Yeah.
Um, but let me just go on. So he finally convinces her. They go out to the woods. The first 50 minutes is just them basically walking around the woods, him sort of fishing, him killing a rabbit for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah. It-
They finally get to the cabin, and while they're having dinner, two random guys step out of the woods, and they don't seem threatening. They're just strangers. In fact, they seem very hippie. They sing a folk song while they're there, and then they leave.
well, it's Troubadour and Jarvis,
It is
and
Troubadour and
and
Jarvis.
you can't see because it's behind my, but Jarvis, he's the guy in the green um, field jacket, and he is holding a rabbit. You can't see it because it's behind my head. So he is a gentle soul, uh, and Troubadour is also a gentle soul who likes to sing. Apparently, they are also Vietnam veterans. They
Well,
don't.
Jarvis is. We don't know about Troubadour.
That's true. That's true. Jarvis definitely has a little bit more violent tendencies. Um, Troubadour is only he just wants to sing "Golden Apples of the Sun," and which was a Joni Mitchell song. And
All I know is it's from a Yeats poem
yes,
and it's a book by Ray Bradbury.
yes, it is. And Ray Bradbury, I guess he got into the Yeats poem. He said that his wife had introduced him to romantic poetry, and he said he became enamored with it, and so he fell in love with the poem "Golden Apples of the Sun." And one of his books was entitled "Golden Apples of the Sun," I believe. So, but it was a compilation of short stories, if I remember it right. But yes, let me tell you because this was my pick,
Mhm.
and sometimes you say to me, "Why did you pick the this one?" And I was at
That is going to be a question of mine for this
well,
movie.
that was a question I was expecting from you. So I came prepared to tell a brief story about it. I've told you this before. You already know it, but for our viewers, um, back in the day back when I did antique and fine art delivery, my buddy Walt, still a really good friend of mine, and really enjoy a lot of commonality, including a love of movies. And there was a clearance place that was in Seabrook, New Hampshire. It was
Ah, Seabrook.
Yeah, oh yeah. This had a cool discount store.
Seabrook's where I got my first tattoo.
Dude, Seabrook has a lot of color and a lot of life to it.
It does
It's
indeed.
it really does
Shout
a
out to anyone from Seabrook.
exactly Seabrook, New Hampshire. We're
Seabrook
definitely
rocks.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so believe me, we'll have to do a there's a there's a Pamela Smart story we'll have to do on the kids from the high school came from Seabrook, but I'm getting off track. So Seabrook had this discount place that bought up um, video store clearance when a video store would either close down or just rotate its its clearance. This store would buy them, and they was so you go into the store, and in the back corner of the store there's this there's just piles of boxes. And so it was kind of like going, and I love bookstores too, and old bookstores, and it was kind of like that. You go in there and just you'd sort through all these old VHS tapes. So the two of us would go, and you get like I don't know what it was, five for 20 or whatever. It was kind of cool. So one time we went in there, we both got our bags of tapes, and he took his home and I took mine home. And the next day, like he tells me, "Man, you got to watch this movie," and he's and he goes, "Just watch it. It's really
So I
something."
have Walt to blame.
Yeah, yeah, you do. You have Walt to blame for this. So I watched it, and the movie it cracked me up. It it's so hippie-esque that like I said, it made me laugh. It tickled me in different ways, and it also kind of there's a little bit of a almost you said it right before you had ever seen it. There's almost a little bit of a Straw Dogs kind of thing going on here. Um, it's hard to just really classify it, but the hippie thing is so like there's a there's a scene when and he is no outdoorsman. He acts like he's kind of like an outdoorsman.
Yeah, I don't know what that whole part was where
Yeah,
he's
I'm
trying to be an
surprised.
outdoorsman.
Yeah, I'm surprised he even caught any fish. And when he first started catching them, I thought he was catching minnows or something. They were,
I
yeah.
don't know what those were. I'm
I
guessing they
think
were smelt, maybe because
I,
they were not. I don't think those are freshwater fish. He was
yeah, I don't
working
know
with.
what they like whether they were plant. In some ways,
I
they
don't think
looked
those are trout, as they
well.
claim.
He kept calling them trout, and they looked a little like trout, but they did. They also didn't. They could have been big sardines. So I have no idea really what I mean, maybe they were pickerel or something, but they were definitely too small. I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I figured, I saw how small it was, and I figured, oh, he's going to throw that back.
Yeah, and then the other surprising reaction is she goes mental over him killing the fish when he catches the fish. She actually starts crying over it. She gets yeah, there you go, great shot of that.
There's
She
the fish, by the way,
yeah, and
and
they
I
actually
wish there was something to compare them to for scale, but those things are tiny.
yeah they are they were maybe
Maybe
four
5 inches at most.
yeah 4 to 5 inches maybe um and that the other thing is like he got at him he cleaned him that way, but I don't like I was thinking to myself, geez, did he even scale him or anything, it's um but and then they cooked him kind of with the head on, and as squeamish as she was, I would have filleted him so that to make her less offended by the whole thing. But she's actually the scene that is behind me right now. That's when they're eating them, and she actually starts crying. And I wish the fish didn't have to die. And then he goes this like real hippie esque. The reason why hippies are not around anymore, or not like really around, is because of these people. um, he gives this whole thing. Well, we killed the fish, and uh, now we're eating the fish, and the fish become part of us, and it's beautiful. And it's and it's like, really, dude, you're going to make this into a
But Mike, every aspect of this movie was atrocious.
Oh yeah, it was
The
it.
writing, the delivery of every line.
Yeah. Well, she was one of the bright spots. And there actually is some nude scenes which are very weird. They have this very weird frolicking thing out in the where she gets in the water and then he gets in the water in his tidy whities. and
You,
and
you know, I tried to research this film. There's
yeah,
not a lot on
no,
this film, but
no.
one of the recurring commentaries about this film is for some reason it's considered an exploitation film.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And there is nothing all that violent, nothing
No,
all that gory, nothing all that extreme, nothing all that sexy in any way
no,
about any part of this movie.
no. And the other thing is, even though like there are aspects of maybe of something like a Straw Dogs, there's no rape in the movie. It's like what happened in Straw
Well, I mean,
Dogs.
the only way you can call it rape is because she couldn't give consent. And she seemed to be unconscious for the
Yeah,
entire
but
thing.
I don't know truly what. Just to unfold the plot for anyone that hasn't seen it, which I would expect would be most people, because this is an obscure film, but you can find it in places, but it's hard to find. I bought a DVD copy and sent it to Dom, and I had my own DVD copy. But I definitely find the film enjoyable, but it's very strange. But it's anyway, there's a scene where she finds an apple that what starts when they go to a cabin. They're staying in this cabin that he knows about, and he knows the guy that lived there. And for some reason he seems to think that the guy is not going to be around, so they can just stay there. And but later you also get this kind of foreboding thing of a bullet hole in the window, which Jarvis later on uh, when they're talking to them, Jarvis makes a comment about the guy not being alive anymore,
Hmm.
and so you kind of get the feeling that maybe that the guy crossed Jarvis or Jarvis crossed him, whatever. So Jarvis is probably the one of the two of them that maybe could have done something violent. Um, when they get into the house, of course, they have the encounter with the guys who leave, and but the boyfriend is actually, and probably not wisely, is very insulting and very cold to them, and basically tells them get going and leave. We're here, and almost kicks them out. So they come back later that night, and the apple that she finds, and I never did figure out why she didn't say more, but she was being all petulant about the fish, and so she comes
Well, it's not
downstairs.
exactly like he was open to anything she had to say.
No, he was being the boyfriend was a jerk. He was a real jerk, and that's him there with her, and but she goes upstairs in the house, the cabin, and there's an apple, a fresh apple, sitting on the windowsill with a human bite out of the apple. It's clearly a human took a bite out of that apple. So somebody was just in the house. There's not even any yellowing where the an apple will yellow pretty quickly where when you bite it or cut it, and this is fresh. Someone just took a bite out of it. I would have been a lot more alarmed that there was somebody in that house. So she goes downstairs and she's not really telling him what she found. And then she finally says, I saw something upstairs and it's gone now. Because she went back and checked on it and the apple was gone, which is really alarming. So he said, well, it probably was an animal, just dismisses it. But she never says, no, there was a human bite out of the apple. She never tells him any details to actually give him any warning of. So, of course, the guys show up, they leave, they come back later that night.
Oh, no, no,
Now,
no, no, no. They are brought back later that night.
What do you mean
That
brought
guy
back?
takes a rifle and starts shooting at them.
Yeah, but that was after they were out there making noise.
They were making noise.
Yeah, but
You
well,
don't just shoot
oh
someone.
no, I will totally agree with you. I thought that was the stupidest thing in the plus
So I mean,
he
it's not like they just of their own volition snuck back in the house. No, no, no. They were
no,
very
but
much
they
provoked.
did come back. They came back and they were clearly making their presence known. They were out there singing, making noise, talking, and so that's when he woke up, grabbed his rifle, which I'm surprised he had the rifle on him. I believe this was filmed in Canada,
Yep.
but but I mean he had a Winchester lever action, and why he would choose to take a shot. And
That that
and
that part of the movie, I'm like, I have no idea what this is supposed
well,
to mean or
even
represent.
even if he thought that like, maybe that like he needed to show them that he had the rifle, then that and like make a he could have walked outside holding it, and I'm sure they would have seen it. But you don't just take a shot at somebody. And he actually hit their bike, which to me was a real stupid thing because you want them gone. You don't give them a reason to hang out longer. So
Right.
when
So,
he
so what I'm saying is he precipitated the
oh
rest of
absolutely
the events of the night.
absolutely and absolutely he brought that on himself. And ultimately, what ends up happening, there is a giant, and I believe that was some kind of chicken coop or something. It was he was saying it was for falcons. I don't maybe it was, I don't know. It looked more like a chicken coop.
You know
And
what
there
it
were
looked like? And now that I'm thinking about it, it looks like a rabbit hutch.
could have been, could have been.
Because I mean, I've had my share of chicken coops and they don't look like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he said something about it could have been for falcons, which I guess is possible because it is a big cage,
There's
and there
not a
were
single roost there.
well, there were chicken feathers in there. I mean, they were looking at the feathers and acting like, like what are these and what's this, like all
Yeah, they,
mystified.
they were mystified. To them, it was like this alien artifact.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't think they had any experience with the outdoors. He was no outdoorsman. He was if the guy had ever been camping in his life, his dad probably took him fishing when he was 5, and that was about it. But he certainly did impress her. And what ended up happening, I mean, the Jarvis, the dude in the field jacket, he was furious when he got the shot taken at him, and again, probably his Vietnam veteran uh, status, he wasn't going to just take it. So he said, "Nobody just takes a shot at me." So they end up doing a siege on the place. They easily distract him because he's an idiot. The boyfriend, he's an idiot. So he gets out and the dude Jarvis goes inside, grabs the girl Janet, stuffs her in a an ice box, which I guess she was deprived of air because she passes out. And After they get him, they tie him up inside the whatever it was, the bunny hutch, the falcon
And I gotta
hutch.
say that scene with them tying him may be the 5 most painful minutes of a movie I've ever watched. I mean, like, I'm no master knot tire.
Yeah.
Their bondage scene makes me look like an old sailor with
Yeah, yeah,
knots. I mean, like they could not tie someone up to
you're a
save their life.
Japanese bondage knot expert or something. Is how they have like different terms for different types of knots and ties and things like that. He he was he had so much trouble getting the two of them. They were both trying to tie him.
I'm watching the movie. I'm like, just tie the mother up already.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they tie him up, and then the troubadour, the minstrel dude, he says to Jarvis, "What about the girl?" and he says, and he goes, "You didn't kill her, did you? You didn't hurt her?" And Jarvis goes, "Oh my God!" Like, and he suddenly remembers that he stuffed her in a place with probably no air. So they pull her out of there, and she is completely out of it. She's unconscious. So to make the boyfriend suffer even more, he drags her out, puts her in front of the guy, and starts kissing her and acting like he's trying to revive her.
Starts
And
tenderly kissing her.
yes, very tenderly kissing her. Well, I apparently you really the scene kind of cuts out, so you really don't know. There's one point where the boyfriend gets loose, and they kind of give him an ass pounding, and so you really don't know totally what happened. Apparently, she must have woke up at some point, and I kind of think she kind of dug Jarvis because she was she kept saying, "Well, they don't seem that bad." And anybody that can, when Troubadour sang "Golden Apples of the Sun" to her, she was really touched by that, and she said, "Anybody that can sing like that can't be all bad." And so, anyway, they don't really show what happened, but the next day, the boyfriend wakes up after his ass pounding, and he sees off in the distance the girl with the two guys, and they're hugging, and there's a whole friendly scene. I don't believe there was anything that was, like non-consensual with the encounter. I think she probably woke up and uh, didn't care. Probably was fed up with that nutty boyfriend of hers. So I that was the way I took it. I didn't take it as being something that was, non-consensual or something. It wasn't
I
like,
honestly don't know how to take it. These people, their actions, their motivations, who they were, it made no sense to me.
well, I like I said, I fondly remember this movie, watching it on VHS tape, which there's a picture of the original VHS tape. Um, this and another little, just a little piece of fun fact for me. I had seen the movie. I borrowed it on tape, and I gave it back to Walt. And I'm sure he's lost it over time, or I doubt he has any VHS tapes left. But anyway, the movie was in my head. It's a movie that definitely stuck with me, and so I started talking about it to your cousin, my niece Alicia, and she is so good at tracking shit down. It's unbelievable. And I started talking about the film. I didn't have the title. I didn't have. I had these people are pretty much unknowns. That Elizabeth Suzuki, I believe, is the girl,
Yep,
and she's
Elizabeth Suzuki and Percy Harkness is the guy.
yeah. And I don't really like. She might have been in a couple of other things, but I don't think they really had a
They
career.
did not have a long, illustrious career.
No, no, surprisingly. but but anyway, so I started telling her the plot, and she goes, "Well, what's the name of it?" And I'm trying to tell her, like, I want you to track this down for me. And so she's like, "Well, what's the title? Who's in it?" And I said, "I don't know, and all I can give you is, a few things about the plot." So I told her, and she's like, "Well, that's not much to go on, but let me see what I can do." The next day she calls me, and she's like, "Yeah, I found it." And I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." And she said, "Well, it has two titles." And I said, "You probably didn't find the right one." And she's like, "Yeah, I did." And she was sure she
I
found
can't
it.
believe you're doubting her.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't have. Believe me, she definitely found it. She told me the two titles, "Cage Terror" or "Golden Apples of the Sun," and she's like, "Yeah, you can get it on DVD." so, so I promptly bought one, and I ended up sending her that copy. So when I started thinking about, you have said to me, and this is possibly your fault too, because you have said to me, well, we're not doing enough like of the ones that we love doing B movies. So and we've definitely, said that, yeah, even though we love doing good movies and fun and fun various movies that we're into, we also like to do a good obscure B movie, and this is definitely one of my picks for that. So I had to buy you a copy and send it to you just so you'd be able to watch it. So for anyone that's trying to watch it, there are DVDs available on Amazon, and you'll have to probably watch it that way unless you know another source.
So let
It's
me tell you a story about the name.
Yeah,
So this movie was originally Golden Apples of the Sun. That was the
yes,
original title.
yeah,
Written, directed, and produced by Barry McLean and Kristen Weingartner.
okay,
When and they made it in 73.
yeah,
When the film distribution company New World Pictures bought the rights, when they
right,
got it, they said no one is going to buy a movie titled Golden Apples of the Sun.
right,
So they relabeled it Cage Terror and
yeah.
dishonestly market it as an exploitation film.
Yeah, which again, I don't feel that's what it is at all. I think that's actually doing it a disservice.
It's doing
Uh,
a serious disservice because I'm going to say, if someone had just said, watch this film,
yeah,
I would have been better prepared. I would have received it better than if you present it as a Straw Dogs type
yeah,
movie.
yeah, because it's not that, and I'm not sure how you would categorize it in many ways. However, um, I don't know. I don't know why the movie appealed to me. It was to me, it was just like I love the fact that it's trying to be something more than what it is. Um,
Let me read you part of a review.
yeah,
I learned of a new genre. This movie is considered Canuxploitation.
really, yeah, yeah, definitely Canadian.
So
That was the other thing that I misled Alicia on, is I said I thought it was filmed in upstate New York, and I thought maybe the film had been shot in and around New York. It wasn't. I don't know what the city was, Ontario or Montreal.
yeah, I
But
couldn't find out the filming location.
and then it was definitely in the Canadian, woodsy area. I'm not sure where that was filmed either, but it's definitely Canadian. And but
So let
go
me
ahead.
read you this excerpt. This is
Yes.
from Canuxploitation Review, Golden Apples of the Sun. With their debut independent production, 1973's Golden Apples of the Sun, NFB trained, and that's National Film Board of Canada.
Yeah.
NFB trained directors Barry McLean and Kristen Weingartner may have wanted to follow in the esteemed footprints of these pioneers of modern Canadian film with their own angsty attack on the powers that be. But they ended up with something else entirely, an incredibly odd and profoundly unlikable thriller that has been testing the patience of even the most forgiving audiences for almost 3 decades.
Wow. Wow. What a review. What a put down. But I have to say, I truly like the movie, and I hadn't seen it in a long time when I was started talking to Alicia about it. So I remembered it. I remembered the plot. I remember certain scenes and things like that. Certainly the whole her crying over the fish and him trying to explain why it was a beautiful thing. That was another thing. The boyfriend was definitely a dick
Oh,
because,
totally.
like I own guns, but I don't really like I don't hunt. If I use guns are to me are for like like going to the range, target shooting, and personal protection, of course. But but as far as like hunting, and I have hunted before. I've hunted rabbit. It's so I mean, yeah, yeah. The boy from when he was crying in the cage. was cracking me up.
This is another incredibly painful scene. I'm sitting there watching it going, oh my God.
Yeah, yeah, no, believe me, believe me, that scene in the cage, I was cracking up laughing when he was doing the because he kept saying, "Don't touch her, don't you touch her," and the guy's kissing her, and he's saying, "Yeah, watch me kiss her," but anyway, um, yeah, as far as like, as far as like this film, it's it was just so it was just so silly and it was trying so hard to be something more than what it was that it amused the hell out of me. So
Yeah, so here is one of my frustrations with not so much the film, but us doing this video, is
yeah,
because I like to have some interesting things to talk about.
right,
And I searched for hours, hours and hours trying to find some interview with either one of the directors because I'm dying to hear what were they trying to convey.
you're right.
If
Well,
anyone out there that is watching this has a line on either Barry McLean or Kristen Weingartner, I want to know. I would love to talk to them about this film.
well, if they're watching this right now and they see this on YouTube, we will gladly interview them.
Oh,
So
totally,
so
totally.
if they would love to
I
come
want to
forward,
know.
it would be because, like I said, I don't know where you're going to come down on this movie. I love this movie for as 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 weak as it is in many places. I feel like they really were trying to make something here, something bigger than what they made. I enjoyed it. I saw it years ago. It resonated with in my head. I brought it up to Alicia. She just told me recently that she rewatched it, so she's seen it more than once. So obviously she found some joy and amusement in the movie. And like I said, it's one that every once in a while I think about it and want to see it again. I've probably seen the movie now 3 or 4 times, and I still enjoy it. It's to me, it's just a fun movie. And hey, the one of the highlights is Elizabeth Suzuki. She was probably one of the better actors in the film, and she's cute too. So add all that together, and but again, like I said, um, the movie just it just ticked all the right boxes with a low budget B movie.
You
It
know,
was like,
I mean, we all have our thing.
yeah, it was fun. It was I liked how I liked how you never really knew where the movie was taking you when you started watching it. You see them going out there, and there's these they had these like weird scenes that I don't know if you remember the scene where because there's a scene where they make love and and that's what I started to say was I was talking about hunting. He shoots a rabbit, and that was probably one of the scenes where it's like, don't just shoot a rabbit if you're not gonna use the rabbit and kill it and eat it. If it's not going to become food, then don't just shoot an animal just for the hell of it, which is one of the things that shows what a jerky is.
Mike, he
But
needed its blood.
yeah,
It's blood.
well, that's the other thing, and I don't even know why. As much as she got upset about the fish, I don't know why she let him because he takes the rabbit's blood and he puts it on himself and her, and that's what to me that spoiled the lovemaking scene.
Oh my
it,
God, that was disgusting.
it was yeah. I mean, who the hell puts rabbit blood all over themselves and over your girlfriend and beautiful girl and he rubs blood on her.
And
But
again,
anyway,
for no reason. If he was trying to do a ritual, okay, I get it. If he talked
yeah,
about some symbolism,
yeah.
life for life, I don't know, some weird philosophical bull
Uh,
BS.
well, he
But
was
he
doing
just
a
does it with no explanation.
dude. He was a hippie.
He was not a hippie. That guy was not a hippie.
Well, he was something of a philosopher. He was a man of his time. He was trying to be hip and cool, and So he came up with this whole like little hippie analogy of life and us eating food and the food becoming part of us. And it was beautiful, man. so, so so yeah, like I said, it was I it the movie just it amused me in so many ways, and I truly enjoyed it. The first time I watched it, I've enjoyed it, on subsequent viewings, and yeah, it's a guilty pleasure for me. I think it's a lot of fun. So yeah,
Well, that's good. I'm glad you saw enjoyment of it. I've watched I've watched paint dry that was more entertaining than this movie.
That's great. I love it. Well, you can thank Walt for me actually
Oh,
knowing
I
about this.
will. Thanks a lot, Walt.
Because he probably will watch this and see this. So you got to give him his.
I will give it that it is a quirky little film that is definitely of the time. Like
Yeah.
you won't see anything like this outside of the 1970s.
No, no,
It,
not at
it, it
all.
is unique. That
Yeah.
did not make it enjoyable or entertaining.
Well, for me it is enjoyable, and for me it's fun. I will not. I mean, it received no Academy Award nominations. Surprisingly, it didn't win the Golden Globe Award. It didn't win the Canadian Film Festival Award. it
No
So
one was
yeah,
nominated for Best Actor in a Motion
yeah,
Picture.
yeah. Surprisingly, I mean, look at him behind you. You wouldn't give him an Academy Award,
He's
but
given his all in that one.
I actually, I mean, for what it was, I thought the actors were competent in their roles, and I do think the movie was striving to be something more than what it ended up becoming. However, again, it still hit on all cylinders for me. I really enjoyed it, and mostly because of why I do love B movies and movies that are. I love finding an obscure movie like this.
It's weird. It's obscure.
Yeah. So and hey, it's heavy, man. Golden apples of the sun. so I mean, what do you want? but yeah, this is probably a movie that drugs would make it better.
Drugs would be almost mandatory.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Could very well. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's certainly not perfect, but it's fun, and that's yeah. There's the rabbit that's the rabbit that is Jarvis's rabbit that he's holding here, and with Troubadour behind him singing "Golden Apples of the Sun." So
Does
and
he
for
only know that one song?
what's that?
Does he only know that one
Yeah,
song?
yeah, that's the only one he knows how to play on his guitar. That's the only one he knows the lyrics to. And so that's the one he impresses the ladies with.
But you're right. There was definitely a message here. I wish to God I knew what that message was.
Well, it was all about golden apples of the sun. You didn't get it, man? I mean, come on.
Do you know what the budget for this movie was?
No, I would love to know.
$130,000
Wow.
in
Wow.
1973
Yeah.
for that movie.
Yeah. Well, you can see where they spent the money. it's
On
it's
drugs for themselves?
yeah. Well, could very well have been. I am sure that when they went out there to film those outdoor scenes, I am sure they brought some weed with them. Maybe some other stuff. There might have been some acid involved in in this. Maybe
I
some
don't know what
shrooms.
was involved.
But hey, it all came together very well. so I take it it's not a movie that you'll probably revisit real soon.
I will not be revisiting this movie if I have a choice in it.
Right. So, well, I mean, I may have to pick it again.
You may.
Yeah. No, it's I don't know, like I said, it's a guilty pleasure. I really I like it. Um and like I said, if there's anyone that was at all connected with this movie that worked on the crew, if you were one of the filmmakers, one of the actors, and you happen to see that we've got this up and you watch it and want to contact us, leave a comment for one thing, but we would love to interview anyone that maybe worked on this
Anyone that
film.
has any clue what the
Yeah,
message was, because I'm watching this film and I'm watching a scene and I'm like just on the edge of understanding a message, and I
right.
never quite got there.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, please, if you worked, if you were part of the crew of this, or if you know one of the actors, directors, writers, whatever, I would love to I would love to talk to you. I would love we would interview you for sure. So let's do a Zoom if you because again, like I said, for me this is a film that it just struck me in a certain way that I was like, man, I dig it. I wanna rewatch it every once in a while. Yeah, that is the scene. You've got a
This is one of
um,
the last scenes of the movie.
that and if you look at this scene, it's kind of a tender scene, and she hugs both of them.
Yeah, they're partying as friends.
And then she comes back to the cage and opens the cage and unties him, and that's the really the ending of the movie. So it was kind of like they all got together and decided to like punish the boyfriend for his crazy action of taking a shot at people and almost killing the bunny rabbit too. So the bunny rabbit almost ended up dying because of that. So that would have been tragic. Uh, uh, so
Maybe
yeah,
the guy kills nothing but rabbits.
yeah, maybe.
No rabbits are safe near him.
Well, yeah, maybe there's a whole thing that was never explored that he has.
He's nicknamed Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna kill me a wabbit.
I'm hunting rabbits.
So, so yeah, you never know. That might have been. And there's a whole scene with the pomegranate and her.
Oh my God, the pomegranate seed.
Yes. Oh my God.
And that really frustrated me. Have they never eaten a pomegranate before? I've never seen anyone eat a pomegranate like that.
No, and when they were cutting it up and it's like you don't have a clue about how to. Yeah, it's. I mean, and I don't get them very often. Every once in a while, I'll get pomegranate, and I love them when I have them. They're actually kind of a fun fruit to eat, but I have never eaten a pomegranate like that. I've never seen
I've
anyone.
never seen anyone
Yeah,
eat a pomegranate like
and it
that.
was probably one of the more messy ways of eating a pomegranate. So yeah, that was another weird scene. But and I almost don't believe they even ate the fish. There was a whole thing. They had the fish out there. They had a whole um they had a whole plate of like it looked like mozzarella and olives with nice little and nobody was eating those. And actually when the two dudes showed up, she invited them to sit down. She said, "We have plenty of food," and it's like, "Yeah, you guys aren't eating it," but but I mean, she was actually fairly welcoming. It was the boyfriend again that was hostile, and he paid for it later with taking a shot at somebody. You don't shoot at somebody. Um, I mean,
Not unless you're really trying to kill them.
well, exactly. Like you never point a gun at somebody, you never shoot at somebody unless you actually mean to harm them. And the other thing about that was he had no cause to actually fire that rifle. They were out there messing around, but they weren't. They had done nothing that was violent
Threatening or
or no. So, and to me, he had the rifle. So if he was at all intimidated by their presence, he could have just kept the rifle handy. And if they
Hmm.
decided to come in or something, then yeah, maybe he would have felt the need to protect them, from the guys. But they did nothing that was. That's a scene with the apple, by the way, upstairs. And if you look at that, it's not a great picture, but with the apple, you can see there's a bite out of it, and it was a human bite. So again, I don't even understand why she didn't say anything to the boyfriend about, like, yeah, somebody took a bite out of an apple and it was sitting on the windowsill, and then they came back and got the apple and it's gone. But the boyfriend was such a tool that, again, he wouldn't have paid any attention anyway. But yeah, and Elizabeth Suzuki's in the movie. So did I mention that? uh, so yeah, it's to me it's there's not a whole lot of reason for recommending it other than the fact that it's a great B movie. And we don't do enough. Right? And you said yourself, we don't do enough, uh, you know, B movies. So we wanted to pull another one up, and I challenge you, in not maybe not next week for your next week's pick, but down the road, come up with another good B movie that's on par with this.
I
So
don't, I'm not sure what to consider a B movie. Like I choose a bunch of low budget movies.
yes,
You know, like Coherence, The Endless. I've
well,
chosen a bunch of movies that have shoestring budgets. I don't know if I'd call them B movies.
yeah. I mean, B movie, low budget, whatever. I tend to just kind of lump, and there's different quality of what a B movie is. There, like movies that I truly like are something like, and they would be considered B movies for sure, but something like Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. Um, you
That's
know,
almost too artsy. I want to say The Exterminator.
well, when Faster Pussycat came out, it wasn't artsy. It was, I mean, it was and it wasn't. There were people that just loved it because of its low budget quality and the probably the exploitation
And it's
part
so
of it.
stylish. I mean, it's even like Spider Baby.
Yeah, but you got to figure what something was at the time and what it becomes over time, are two different things. And Faster Pussycat resonated with a lot of people. And Russ Meyer, that's another thing. Russ Meyer, he had a certain genre. A lot of it was exploitation, girls with big bosoms, and
He had a trademark.
he had a trademark for sure. And he also, I have to say, I actually do believe his films, especially over time, they've turned into something pretty artsy over time. But they were kind of considered, it was like Mondo trash at the time, and there were only these people. You had to be a little bit more of a weirdo or somebody that liked oddball stuff that was into, Russ Meyer and some of that stuff. Now it's become kind of hip and cool to be a Russ Meyer fan. I was a Russ Meyer fan from the first time. It's like John Waters. There were people that, oh my God, John Waters was awful back in the day, with some of his early films. And man, John Waters has become so cool and so hip. But I mean, I like, from Pink Flamingos. I think that was the first one. Everyone's probably that's one of their first ones. But I loved Pink Flamingos, and I loved the early John Waters movies.
Yeah,
Uh,
Mike,
the,
like I love John Waters, just love him to death, but we can talk about him when we're talking about a John Waters film. I'm
that
going to
no,
bring
it's
us
true. But
back.
I'm just saying, what you call a B movie, what you call a low budget movie. Um, I would certainly classify Russ Meyer and John Waters in those categories. Um, Nowadays, they've become so central to film and film schools or talk about them, and but they never would have back in the day. So that's when I talk about a movie like Cage Terror. Is it a B movie? Is it just a low budget one? It's definitely low budget for sure. But okay, you could downgrade it to a C or a D movie, but it's a low budget movie, and I
All I
love
can
it.
say is I give Cage Terror no thumbs.
Really, really.
I'm not going to give it a thumbs down
Yeah,
because it is a weird, quirky movie and
yeah.
it's something different.
Well,
But I did not find it enjoyable in any way.
to counteract your no thumbs, I'm giving it two.
Yeah, yeah, I figured. I
So
mean, it's your pick. You
yeah,
liked it.
it's it was the movie resonates with me in a fun way, and so that's why. And I don't necessarily feel it deserves two thumbs in the same way, but for my low budget categories that I love, I will give it two thumbs because
Yeah, I
of
mean,
that. So
the thumb system is not like an official objective measure. We're going with
no,
vibes here.
no, that's it's for a movie like this, it's all about the vibes. And this one hit for me. It was just fun. So guilty pleasure, I have to admit. Um, I'd love to hear comments like what other people, if you've ever seen this movie, comment if you have any knowledge
Yeah,
or back.
which side do you fall on? Do
Yeah.
you feel like me that this has no entertainment value whatsoever, or are you with Mike where this is a classic?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To me, it's a classic low budget B movie. So, yeah. And with having said all of that, I think we can wrap this one up. Uh, Dom, Dom is very happy to have it wrapped up. But let me ask you, Dom, do you have a pick for this week?
I do. I do, and I'm very excited about my pick for this
Wow,
week
really, really?
because I am inspired by the new Liam Neeson movie.
Okay,
I'm choosing Naked Gun.
okay, cool. That's definitely one that I'm going to enjoy talking about for sure. So,
I love Leslie Nielsen,
yeah,
love Zucker's and Abraham's humor
yeah,
and everything about all the Naked Gun movies. And I'm so excited to see Liam Neeson picking up the torch and them
yeah.
coming out with a new Naked Gun
Well,
movie.
I have not seen it. I have, maybe I saw the trailer, but I will tell you this. Uh, Alicia saw the movie yesterday, I believe.
Really
Yes,
awesome.
and she said they laughed their butts off. So yeah, that's good praise for it. So yeah, let's go with that next week. So we're not talking about the new one.
Right, we're talking about the original first
Orig
Naked Gun
Yeah,
from the files of Police Squad.
yes, yeah. Which you actually turned me on to the Police Squad TV show. You got really into that show, and I don't know how much
I
you.
am currently writing a piece about it because I love that show so much. I was telling Lisa, I don't know why or how, but they created a type of humor that just hits me every time. It hits
Yeah,
me
yeah.
just right every time.
Well, and that's it. It's definitely a genre of humor, and believe me, I love them also. I mean, hey, I own a bunch of them on on Voodoo, but yeah, as far as the TV show, I just remember that you had gotten into it, and I wouldn't have gotten into it if you hadn't gone on and on about how much you liked it. And I started watching it with you, and I was like, wow, this is definitely funny. And so it just resonated with me on that. So yeah, I have to thank you for getting me into the TV show, and then of course,
I'm glad you got into it.
yeah. But yeah, that's I'm excited to do that one. That'll be pretty awesome. So for anyone that's watching, next week we will definitely be doing that, and it's going to be the original, not the new one. So we'll go from there. But Dom, it's been fun.
Always.
sorry to put you through the pain of Cage Terror. But
I'm going
anyway,
to be having nightmares about this.
yeah. Just the very fact that you lost the time. It was only like what, 85 minutes, 80.
Yeah,
It's
86,
yeah.
86.
So it's relatively short. And Dom, I will see you next week. For
Yes,
everyone
you
out there
will.
in YouTube land, we will see you guys next week. And keep the faith. And next week is going to be more fun and humor. So don't take care.